All right, Shalom Yasharala. I'm Yalakman Ra'ah from the Shut Up and Berea camp, and I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodesh. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's name in the Hebrew tongue, and Yahweh Shai is his son's name, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. His name means he's a deliverer or he's a savior. All right, and those are the names that we were given whereby salvation was given unto us. Okay, that we ought to call on. All right, we are the Hebrew Israelites. All right, that's our biblical nationality. All right, and I want to give double honors to the apostles of GMS. Those are the men of the Lord that taught us this truth. All right, and I'm going to get straight into it, man. The social credit score of Moses. Now, I want to get into what that means. All right, now let's look up the word social in the etymology. Now, the etymology online dictionary gives us a definition of the social, and then we're going to a social credit score. All right. Now, the word social means devoted to or related to home, life, living with others, of companionship, of allies. All right. Or a follower. All right. So you got these communities, such as the alphabet community, all right? You got these, the BLM communities, all right? And pretty much what's going on is these communities, you have to wear, if a job is part of them, they want you to wear a flag to represent them and things of that nature, because that's your social credit score, all right? Meaning that you live, these are the others that you are in companionship with. All right. Now in this world, in this society, we live amongst, there's no community where it's like, well, this is this community or that's that community. You live amongst all different types of people. All right. But what's going on is the Lord is drawing a line. All right. The Lord is drawing a line. All right. And a lot of it was drawn with that juice, the jab, okay? But more things is being added to it, okay? But the first thing was with the jab, all right? So if you didn't take that, you were not in companionship or allies, or you wasn't, you couldn't live well with others, because you could potentially be getting people sick and things of that nature, all right? Allegedly, right? Because that was the reason that they backed by it, but the people who took it was getting themselves sick and others sick, and they were dying. But the point that I'm getting at is this social credit score, all right, is where the Lord is drawing a line, and where the Lord is allowing his devil to use it, so then you'll know who the elect is, all right? And within that, all right, you will be outs, all right, with living amongst others, okay? So you will suffer losses, all right? You will suffer losses. So let's go to social credit score. Social credit score, all right? It says, a high social credit score will be an indicator that a party can be trusted in a business context, all right? The social credit initiative calls for the establishment of a record system so that businesses, individuals, and government institutions can be tracked and evaluated for trustworthiness. All right? If you're trustworthy. So whether you have a business, whether you're just a regular individual that's shopping. All right? Now, China has a system like that. You can't even shop within certain areas or won't be allowed in, because they'll scan your face and they'll go off your social credit score to determine if you even be qualified to even purchase things or be within this area or live within that area, okay? And that's the sense of drawing a line. But what I want to get into is Moses, all right? Because brothers is going to suffer, all right, losses within this society, all right? Because let me bring out one precept. Sirach chapter 7, verse 7. Offend not against the multitude of a city, and then thou shalt not cast thyself down among the people. All right, we are an offense, okay, against the multitude of the city. All right. And the multitudes of the city is those different groups. And what they all going to do is point the finger and say, well, we're the real problem. And that's dealing with this alphabet community, because they're saying they're coming for the kids. You know, now they linked up with the people who's in the pedophilia groups. All right. And then they're linking up with individuals in the BLM groups. And then they're linking arms with, you know, and so on and so forth. And what it's coming down to is because we get at, we say, yo, we get at the BLM, you know, Black Lives Matter, the marches, and say how that whole organization was ran by them females, and that organization is wicked. All right. And we get at that we not even black. Okay. And we don't take part in any of the whatever the things that they get into. All right. Same thing for the alphabet community. All right. Now the reason why I'm going into it and such is because this is overall, when it boils down to it, everybody is going to be at offense, what they say with the Hebrew Israelites. Meanwhile, we're not violent. Meanwhile, we don't prevent anybody. We don't prevent them from marching. We don't even prevent these individuals from living their lifestyle that they live. But we speak about their agenda and how wicked it is. All right. We speak about against the lifestyles that they promoting. All right. So you got, like I said, you got these multitudes of the city that will be offended. All right. And with them being offended, it will be cast down. That's why the scriptures say, oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that killeth the prophets. Because the prophets didn't get along with the social credit score of that society. All right? Because whatever the system they were running during that time, the prophets would come at it and tell them that what they're doing is wicked. All right? And to adjust. If they was living righteous, then they wouldn't, you know, when nothing would have to be said. All right? So let's get straight into it. I want to start off with Philippians, actually. I'm 3 and 7. It says, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua. So what things would be gained. All right. A lot of brothers lost their job. So what things would have been gained to keep your job and make more money. All right. And I'm talking about especially predominantly due to not taking that jab. A lot of brothers lost their job, had to get up, make a whole lifestyle and change their living conditions and everything. All right. So, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua. All right. So those things we lost for what? For Yahushua's sake. All right. For the sake of Yahushua, for the sake of this truth. All right. That's why we actually suffered those losses. All right. So it says, well, what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua. All right. So for what? For the excellency, for the knowledge of Yahushua. All right. For this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. All right. Of Yahushua. You know, we account all things lost. And once again, harping on the situation that did happen. All right. That was a major loss. If your job came at you and said, well, you got to wear and support this flag, you know, this alphabet community, and you got to stand by it and say, oh, I support this and such, like how Charles Barkley just came out and was saying this stuff. You would count that as a loss, because I'm not stopping them from doing what they're doing, but I do not live this lifestyle. This is not what I support. And you can't force me to say that this is what I support. You know, I'm not preventing them. I'm not in their way, you know. And it's funny because we are the ones who's prevented from living the lifestyle that we want to live. Okay? We can't live and set up ancient Jerusalem here in America. Okay? We couldn't get ahead. You have the Peter down your back if you was doing animal sacrifices unto the Lord. All right? We can't initiate the laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? We can't you know, the judgments of it, so to speak. All right? We can't do those things. All right? But at the same time, we speak against it, and we're going to speak according to the scriptures, because in America, allegedly, they swear on the Bible. So we just bring out the fact that, well, if this society is set up on the basis of this Bible, all right, you guys should be uplifting what we saying. We should have a great social credit score here, because we're going off of this book. All right, but this society ain't going off of they ain't going off of this book. All right, they're going off of the left hand side. They reading the book just to do the opposite things. All right, but it says going back to Philippians 3:8, yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss, right? But loss for Yahweh Shai. All right, yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahweh Shai, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Yahweh Shai. This is the mindset of Paul. This is the mindset of Paul. And this is the mindset that Yahweh Shai will have in the elect. All right? This is the mindset that the Yahweh Shai will have in the elect. So, because you didn't take that jab, and you're not making the same amount of money as you was, okay, and you know your finances, you might be underneath a financial burden, and your credit score going down and things of that nature. But guess what? That means you're winning for Yahweh Shai. This is the same thing. You're going through the same format that Paul went through. All right, and we're going to get into the main thing with Moses. Okay, we're going to get into what Moses went through. So we're walking that same path of great men. Because you can't have both. You can't, I'll get that in Matthews. Let me get that real quick. You can't have both sides. You're going to either serve one or the other. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. All right? So it's either you're going to serve the Lord, all right, or you're going to serve mammon, which is meaning the money. All right? But you can't have both. You can't have the great credit score in the system, be friendship with the world here, but then be serving the Most High. Why is that? Let me get Romans. The Lord is enmity. He has enmity with this world. All right? This is just the way this game is. It's set up. All right? Romans 8:6. It says, let me start from 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of God. So one is going to be serving the other, all right? And the carnal mind is going to be not serving the Lord, but the spiritual mind will be serving the mind. For it is not subject to the law of God. The carnal mind is not subject. It is not under the obedience of the law of the Most High. Neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. You see? So they that are in the flesh that cannot please God. And the ones that are in the flesh is the ones who are in the world. You see? Enmity with the world. That's James 4:4. Salakia. James 4:4 is enmity with the world. Let me get that quick precept real quick for my phone. James 4:4. Real quick. It says, James chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? So how could you have a good social credit score here, but then be in a good relationship with the Most High? Check that out. This is it right here, James 4:4. Basically, and I'm not saying that you can't have everybody got to be in the essence what people would say, well, broke No, that's not the essential thing. But at the same time, the Most High is allowing that line to be drawn out. You know, and it's eventually going to happen, especially when it goes to that MOTB, when that comes into play, when you got to have this chip inserted in your hand to be buying and selling, okay? Because that's the temptation, that's the test. All right, it says, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? So if you have friendship with the world, once again, friendship with the world means the social, okay, your companionship. And what is the world? Who's the companionship? Again, these communities that's being drawn up, the alphabet communities, okay, and they're okay with all different types of things. Then you got the pedophilias who thinks that's okay for grown men to sleep with children. Then you got not grown men, but even women as well, right? Grown adults to sleep with children. All right. Then you got other groups out there, and you know who's into this and into that. It's so much. All right, but so it's saying friendship. It says, for that friendship of the world is enmity with God. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So it's right there. So to serve the Most High and be good with the Most High, you will not have a good social credit score in this society. All right? I know the social credit score being in good standings with them. And eventually, it will affect your financial credit score because a lot of these jobs is going to require you to be supporting these actual communities. All right, that's going to be part of it. All right, you're going to have to put on a shirt. All right, and say I support this. All right, and you're going to have to stay. You know, if you know that that's what the job is going to require, and then you will have to say, listen, my belief. If y'all want to get into my belief, since you want me to put this shirt on, I do not believe in that, and I do not support that. All right, that flag actually represents something else in the Bible. I do not support this community. All right, this their agenda and those things. So I'm not wearing that here. You know, and you will have to take it up into a lawsuit. And if at the end of the day, you know you're going to lose out on a financial situation, then that's just what it is. Because once again, the friendship of the world is going to be, you're going to be an enemy with the Most High. These are the different sacrifices, all right? And once again, the losses that's going to gain amongst Yahweh Shah, all right? Jabbing this stuff in your arm. All of these different things, again, is different tests, all right? Once again, Paul said, we're going to go back into it, back to Philippians. Let me get back there again. All right. Back to Philippians chapter 3, verse 10. Verse 9. I'll read verse 8 again. Yea, doubtless I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung that I may win Yahweh Shah. Now you got to think about Paul too. All right. Paul was what? Paul was once part of the Pharisees that was really intertwined in the government. All right. Paul had a good relationship with these individuals because he once persecuted the church. All right. Whom that whole government in Jerusalem was persecuting, in which they got the Romans involved and things of that nature. But they were pretty much in prominent positions. All right. So what Paul did, Paul actually, when Yahweh Shah came and visited him, and he, those 3 days he went through, the Lord brought him in his truth and gave him that understanding, knocked him off that high horse and rediverted his direction. So he had to actually cast down, his positions as far as, what he had with those individuals. All right, who the Pharisees and all that, because now he's working in opposition with them. So that was a sacrifice. That was a sacrifice in his social credit score with those top-notch Pharisees and individuals that he had relationships with, once he started doing the office of the Gentiles. Okay? All right? Because remember, Paul at one time, when his name was Saul, he had the good social credit score with that world. Okay? So verse 10, that I may know him in the power of his resurrection. All right. in the fellowship of his sufferings. All right, remember fellowship, companionship. That is a social. So you're gonna lose one credit score with one individual, and then you're gonna gain to another. All right. It says the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made comfortable unto his death. So conformable unto his death. Because guess what? When you as it's on in Romans the 8th chapter, once you suffer, those who suffer with him will what? Will glorify with the Lord. Let me get that. Let me get that. You know, and this is the patience, all right, and the faith of the saints. You know, we're gonna get back at Romans and 8 and 17. And if children, then heirs. Let me start from 16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, if so be that we suffer with him, that we be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. So your social credit score is going to be, with you losing out here and with you gaining over there, you're going to gain it. If you hold on to a social credit score here, you still going to be a regular worker. They're requiring, right? You still going to be a regular dude when hanging on to this. And what I mean by that is, say if whatever job you work at requires you to wear that flag shirt or requires you to take a jab, could be a McDonald's worker. Once you do all of that stuff that they require you to stay within that society, or let's get down to the MOTB, once you take that and you still operate in society, you ain't gonna elevate. You still gonna be there. You still gonna be that regular McDonald's worker or that regular individual. And a lot of these jobs is getting replaced by robotics and artificial intelligence anyway. So you're gonna make a sacrifice and still lose out on the damn job. But anyway, the point of the matter is, all right, you're not gonna get promoted or anything, but when you making this sacrifice, right, you're going to be promoted, and that's why it says it waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. The elect is going to be the top prominent governing positions in the kingdom of heaven. You're not going to be a regular person when the Lord comes and establishes this kingdom. You're not going to be that regular person you was in this world here. Whether you was a damn truck driver, a school teacher, a damn fucking Uber driver, or a damn police officer, firefighter, all right? You know, even if you was a music artist, you know, you're going to be the top cream of the crop, 100, and there's never going to be an individual that's going to, those positions that the Lord has given, there's never going to be another person that comes and takes that position of yours. See how you could always get another person, another musician, or another artist that you might always say, well, this person, I could go back to his music, but there'll be another person that they may have like outshine that person. You'll still listen to that old person music, but another person came and outshined them. That's not going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Your position is your position forever. All right. What I mean by that, like you might have heavyweights. Yo, this dude is dominating, but then the dude come and beat him. Now that dude dominating, and then that dude come and beat him. You know, and then eventually they always lose. And in the kingdom of heaven, there ain't no one going to dominate or be, outshine you, in a sense. So the point of the matter is that, all right, when that social credit score you're going to have with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, is going to change, is going to be totally different than having a social credit score within this society. All right. Yeah, that was the point. So let's get into it, man. Let's pretty much get into the meat and potatoes of this. All right, let's get into a great man by the name of Moses. All right. A man of the Lord, a prophet. get it in Hebrews. Let's get it in Hebrews. Page is ripped out. There you go. All right. We're going to go to Hebrews chapter 11. Now, once again, to start this off, to have this social credit score. What is credit? Let's look up the word credit. All right. Let's look up the word credit. Credit means belief, faith. So your credit score go down in this society. All right. It goes down in the society because it's based on you making a payment. You might have did 3-4 good years, whatever, with payments, or the whole time. Now the whole world the whole world went through a financial hardship. All right. So now you missed out on payments. You're not able to. You missed out on a few payments, or you're not able to pay those payments back, on time. All right. And so they drop your credit score. Okay, they drop your credit score. Basically, they're saying they don't have any faith or belief in you anymore. Okay, so that's ultimately what this society is ran upon. It's ran upon credit. All right, and automatically you should know that if you're a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, or Israelite in general, this society don't believe in you. This is why this society make Jake do so much. All right, they put Jake through so much shit that they got to do. All right, for you to be part of their system or their culture or their inside, you got to do a lot of demonic shit because they gotta trust. They gotta pretty much trust you. They're running tests. They wanna constantly, and even when they do it, they still don't really fully trust you at all. All right, they barely even trust their own. All right, but anyway, the credit means to believe, to be sure of the truth. Okay, so credit pretty much is intertwined with faith. All right, let's see who Moses had credibility with. Let's get Hebrews chapter 11, and let's start off with the verse 23. It says, by faith, by credit, right? By faith, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child. First thing first. Egyptians were killing kids. Were killing Israelite children. In this society, I've heard Bill Gates say we have to curb the actual population so the earth don't get populated. And he mentioned the V word, the vax, right? To curb the population. Right? They had something called the Georgia Guidestone to curb the population. I wonder who's always sexually active or always producing. You Israelites. Okay? So we know that this was a form of them actually curbing the population. All right? It's not the first time, all right, this been done. All right? It says by faith, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents. Because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandments. See that? They were not afraid of the king's commandments. Verse 24, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Now think about that, man. Think about being called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. That is ultimately a title or position. That is a social credit score. Because when you're known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, you're credible to walk in these places. Oh, no, this is the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Make sure he's right. Everybody is going to look out for you in them higher ends. But just off of that alone, because of your social credit score. All right, because of the title or position you have in that society. But Moses, what? He refused it. So what did he do? He lost his credibility. He lost his positioning with that society because he refused to be called. All right. And once again, you're going to get into why he did those things. But essentially, Moses knew that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, man. All right. And it says, refuse to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Verse 25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God. So he chose to rather suffer the affliction with the people of God who were doing what? Who was building up the pyramids, building up these monuments that people like to go there and take pictures with. That was slave work. Ain't nothing fucking fun about going out there to take pictures. That's slave work. That was slave labor. So choosing rather to suffer afflictions with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, because that's all it is. That's all it is. You get a great social credit score with this society. All you're going to do is have pleasures for a season, for a time. Because eventually you're going to die. All right? It says, esteeming the reproach of Yahweh Shai greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. So hold on. Moses knew who Christ was. He knew who Yahweh Shai was, the son of the Most High. But he wasn't born yet. So how did he know about him? Because he was visited by Yahweh Shai. That's what it was during the burning flame. Okay? And essentially, this story of Yahweh Shai to come, all right, was already talked about from very, very long ago. All right? This story was a very long story. This is not new. You know, all right, the time of marriage, like they look forward to it. This Yahweh Shai was talked about for a very long time. Okay? So he esteemed the reproach of Yahweh Shai, okay, greater riches. Greater riches. So he esteemed that. To esteem is to, let's look up that word esteem. That's to measure something. Value something, account, worth. So he valued the suffering, the reproach. Reproach means to be in basically a position of difficulty, right? So he esteemed that. He valued that. He said, this is more valuable to your credit score to drop. This is more valuable for you to not take this job because they want you to do X, Y, Z. He said, man, to go through that little moment of not having something or whatever, or not being able to make the same amount of money you was able to make before, that's higher value. So the loss on that money is a higher value. That's the concept. It is the higher value, right? Because he said greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. So to lose out is greater value than to actually have. That's why I want to say this. Real quick, and we was building on this through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And let me make sure I get this. In the priest Hawam Mayim mentioned this quote right here. It said, let's get this. It says, the trade-off. Let your losses be gains and your gains be losses. I'll say that again. This is the trade-off, man. Let your losses be gains. That's what Moses said. I counted the reproach, the loss, as a higher gain, all right? And your gains, all right, his position in the society, be losses. But the loss is a higher value than the actual gain in a society. So check that out. All right? You're gaining a credit score higher with Yahweh Shai, with you losing here is the concept. Esteeming the reproach of Yahweh Shai greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. So you think that the Lord don't see what's going on? You think that the Most High don't see what you going through? The Lord see what you're going through. Okay? You just got to have respect until that the Lord is going to reward you. You got to have respect unto the recompense of the reward. You got to respect that. You got to respect that the Most High have a pocket in heaven for reward. That's your mindset. Your mindset have to be, you have to have respect. All right, let's look up the word respect real quick. All right, that's what Moses had. In order for you to make these sacrifices, you got to have respect. Respect means a relationship, a regard, or consideration. Notice with special attention. You have to have a regard of the recompense. You know what? I respect that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has that recompense, because you respecting that is, you know, the Lord has it there. You got to have respect unto that. Like, that has to play out. But in order for the recompense of a reward to be rewarded or to be recompensed, is to pretty much to lose out on something, you know? Because when you being recompensed, let's look up the word recompense now. A payment for a debt. A payment for a debt. We talk about financial or credit scores. To redress, to provide as an equivalent. To a payment for a debt or obligation, satisfaction, or retribution. To make good. An equivalent or recompense for anything given. Reparation or restitution to another for some wrong done to him. All right, because we suffering basically, man, or for following. We basically suffering for living life. How you suffer for living life? Because to live life has instructions. All right, we're suffering for living life. All right, this Bible is life. This isn't a choice like, oh no, you chose to lose. No, this is life right here. Everything, the reason why the sun come out is because it's according to this book. The moon come out is according to this book. All right, the commandments came from heaven. All right, you're going to get that right there. Moses, is he going to say that? It says for faith, it says he had recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. He's seen who, how do you see something that's invisible? Okay, that's through faith. The word was in him. All right, this whole society operates off of the word of God. We're suffering off of living life. This isn't, you know, to say that, oh no, because you chose. No. You motherfuckers chose to do something off the wall. This is a part of it. This is regular. This was regular. To not eat pork, to not eat shellfish, to not commit adultery, to not kill, to not be a homosexual. Those things that's normal. To do those things is abnormal, meaning out of the normal. Okay? This is a normal thing. This is the code of life. See, when the kingdom of heaven happens, it's going to be programmed inside of everyone. But essentially, why do you think animals live how they live? How do you think animals reproduce? You think they got to go through an education class about the alphabet community and all of this stuff? No. When an animal gets sick, okay, they either what? They either eat the grass, like if a dog gets sick, it'll eat the grass, or it won't eat for a while. It knows that it's sick and it has to switch up a diet. Okay? Animals know that. Animals know they have to reproduce. And they know the difference between a male and a female to reproduce. This is what I'm saying. This is the code of life. Okay? It is a natural thing. All right? Animals cry. They cry out. What do you think they're crying out to? They're crying out to the Most High. They have a cry to be fed. The lion, when we wake up, it cries out. Anything, it cries out. All right? These are things that are already programmed, all right, in this society. All right, when it was made. You know? Now, yeah, essentially, we're choosing, because it says, choose between life and death. But The choice is already made because this is how life operate. You can't live here if you don't operate through this right here. You can't live. All right. This is why there's war. This is why there's destruction. This is why there's evil. This is why there's diseases. This is why the earth is starting to crumble. This is why judgment has to come. Or if no flesh will be alive, because if no one's operating according to this, all right, this whole society. This is why the coral reefs is dying. This is why in Brazil, they cutting down all of these trees. It's so much, damn death happening. Earthquakes. Wildfires and things. That the earth is just breaking out. It's sick. Okay, because it's not being managed according to this book, the land Sabbaths and things of that nature. All right. I seen one video of them chickens eating flesh. They was feeding chickens straight flesh. Going back to Hebrews 11 and 28. Through faith he kept the Passover, the Pesach, and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. Who's that firstborn? Who's the destroyer? Who was the destroyer? Yahushua. All right. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, assaying to do, were drowned. So once again, the main point of this is that Moses himself, all right, made a major sacrifice. All right. And he had a better position than all of us. He was called the son. He was called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Yeah. The son of Pharaoh's daughter. That's a prominent position. All right. That was the top ruler. That's you being called the son of one of the Rothschild's daughters. That's a top position. Your name ring, that alone name ring bells. Everybody is going to do whatever is, at your request. All right. His credibility was good. He could ask for anything and not have money. He would be good. That's why Yahushua said, do they charge of their own or do they charge the strangers? And Peter said, well, they charge us, they charge the strangers because their children are free. Their children are free. Or for their what? Their social credit score. What Esau calls that what? What Jake called when Jake get at Esau, they call that white privilege. All right. But Moses had something greater than a white privilege card. He actually had the card of the prominent family who was ruling that society. All right. But those are the privileges, that he sacrificed. Okay. I have one more. Lord willing, this edifying lesson, but it's more so, man, just get us in the mindset that these are great men that went through these things, and essentially, we're following them same paths. The same thing as the algorithm is being played out, Exodus 33 and 10. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshiped, every man in his tent. It said, tent door. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. So how did the Lord speak to Moses? As a friend. So you got to think about it. He was speaking face to face with the pharaohs, all right? But when he made that sacrifice, he was out. It says when you depart from evil, you make yourself pretty much like a target, all right? Moses was made a target. All right, now, he was out of the society. All right, but who he became now, he got a greater relationship to where the Most High, Yahweh, the creator of this whole thing, created this whole universe, heaven and earth, right? All right, spoke to Moses as a friend, as his friend. Check that out. Check that out, man. All right. Proverbs 14 and 35. The king's favor is toward a wise servant. So when you're a great servant, the reason why, if you're a great servant, Esau gonna keep you around. That's why he puts Jake through so much shit. That's why he's gonna want you to take the chip and do all of this and take the jab and put on an LGBTQ shirt and do this and do that, because he want to make sure that you are his wise servant. Okay, and then that's when he know, well, I could give him favor, because they're gonna do, his mind is of my mind, or her mind is of my mind. They're gonna do whatever I say. They're never gonna put up a revolt. Okay, it says, but his wrath, the king's wrath, right, is against him that causeth shame. So who is the wrath going to be against? The Moses. Who the wrath going to be against? The Pauls. Who the wrath is going to be against? It's going to be against those that cause of shame. Shame for what? Saying that lifestyle is wicked. This is wicked. Your education is wrong. That's wrong. Okay, so he's causing the prophets is causing shame. Okay, Moses came at them and said, "Yo, he causes shame. Y'all Egyptians is wicked. Hey, let them go, because what y'all doing is wicked. And they gotta serve the Most High, man. Y'all some heathens. They shouldn't even be serving y'all. So his wrath was turned against towards Moses. Okay. All right. That's essentially the point. Points I want to bring out. And just one last definition. Social, involving allies or confederates. Right? So that's it, man. Or relating to human society, interaction of the individual and the group, or the welfare of human beings as members of society. So you now have to ascribe to these different societies, all right, for him to entrust you with money, with businesses and things of that nature. You have to ascribe for those societies. And if you don't, then you're blackballed, and essentially, we're not going to support this business. We're not going to support that, or you cannot work here, or such and such, and things of that nature. So now you lose your finances, you lose your social credit score amongst these others, but you're going to gain it with Yahweh Shai. And essentially, what like Paul says, when the sons of God is made manifest, all right, and when the Lord isn't going glorified, and you'll be right there. So, but you have to have what Moses had? He had respect unto the recompense. And that's a powerful thing. We have to be, our mindset through the Spirit and power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, have to really respect the recompense. You got to respect the recompense, so you don't be in your head, or let them situations, because you suffering loss, start to play on your mind. You got to respect the reward. You got to know, all right, just as much as you suffering and losing here, that's going to be the greater reward. Once your mind, through the Spirit and power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is set that way, you eventually will feel better. All right, and that right there was a spiritual uplift, especially what Paul said, and what Moses said. That recompense unto the reward is powerful. It lets you know that the Most High has a pocket there. See, Esau will make you do all of this stuff, all right, just to do it. And what he said, when people were taking the jab, he was giving them a donut. Oh yeah, we're gonna give you a donut, or we give you this, or we give you that. And what if the spot ran out of donuts? I'm just saying, even if you was taking that as a reward, what if they ran out of donuts? It's never guaranteed. But the Lord has a pocket, man. He has a pocket there that where he's gonna reward those individuals. All right, he has it there. You just got to keep your eyes on it. Your eyes on the prize. You got to have respect unto the recompense of the reward. It's there. It's there. It's already set. All right, if the Lord created all of this, that's there. If we're going through the scenarios, that's why you got to read the scriptures and going through read about the men of old. If we're going through these scenarios that these men went through, and these men went through these situations and spoke on it, okay, and actually Moses seen the Lord face to face, and it's a top tier. Like when you mentioned, he's attached with the laws of Moses, the first 5 books. Like this is, not only these are a prominent name forever and ever, but he's attached to what the laws represent. All right, which life has to abide with. Okay, real talk. That's a powerful thing. Okay? And not only that, when the kingdom is established, come on, that's King Moses is King David. All right, that's he's going to be the governor. It makes sense now, you know, the laws, King David, all right, the governor, okay, you know, the Lord's going to be established. The tabernacle of David, he's going to be a governor, okay. That it all makes sense. All right, it all makes sense, but that's essentially what was gained by Moses, and then the Lord set it up already, but he left one thing behind, but gained on another thing. All right, and Moses said it. I had respect unto the recompense of the reward, man. That's fire right there. That's it. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh, Shemar Kakadash. Man, for these words, man, they are spirit and life. These words, when you read them and you get in tune with these scriptures, they are to boost you up in the spirit, in the faith, because everything else you see in here is cardinal. So you see a credit score drop, you see a situation, all of that cardinal shit are going to play on your mind. You know, it's going to play on your mind. You know, you get the jobs here, but then more and more the walls is closing in because everything is requiring this and requiring that, and you know, or you know, I know at least for the situations that I ran into, they did. You know, you're like, damn, I got to dub that. Damn, I got to dub this. You know. And then you know, working jobs that you wouldn't even like, damn, that's not even paying that much. But hey, it is what it is. But you got to have respect unto the recompense of the reward of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. And essentially, let me just end it off with Revelations. Essentially, when it really gets down to it, this is at the end, you know, the whole world's going to have to make this decision because Revelation 13:16 says, and he called of all, both small and great, and rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or on their foreheads, which is that MOTB, which is the MOTB, which is the RFID chip that they have out here now. Okay, that individuals are inserting inside of the head, Neuralink, they inserting inside of their hands and things of that nature. Okay. Verse 17, because here's the point, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. You ain't going to be able to do it unless you had the mark. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you had that inside of you. So what is buying and selling dealing with? Buying, I'm talking about groceries, living, paying the rent, being able to travel, being able to do all those things you will not be able to do, right? In this society, okay? Because you will be able to eat because food grow on trees. But this is the devil where he's playing on your mind. He's making his society seem like it's the whole world. His society ain't the whole world. You'll still be able to eat. You just won't be able to eat at his restaurants, but you'll still be able to eat food, okay? Because what? The Most High made man and fall from heaven. The Most High made quails. The Most High got animals. The Most High got deers. What the fuck? The deer ain't going to let you eat of his body. You can't eat me unless you have them. No, you're going to be able to eat, okay? It says, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 Right? So this is the whole world. I don't give a fuck who you are. All right, how special you are. You're going to be challenged by that same predicament. All right, whether you want to speak about it, not speak about it, not hear about it, want to hear about it, at the end of the day, this test is coming upon the whole world. And that's where people are going to make that full, complete decision of that social credit score. Let me get this by Exodus 21. All right, because to be a complete servant, you know, remember a wise servant, the king favors a wise servant. Well, how he going to know you're a wise servant? How he going to be able to control your mind and all of that? It's through that chip. You got something, not only through the chip in their hand, the payment, but the Neuralink in their head where people can actually walk. But if they you could through that they got the technology where you could know what to turn the TV on just by thought, know what video to go to and watch just by thought. Okay, and that's through Neuralink. Look it up. And the point that I'm making is, they were saying, you know, people who suffer from ADHD or thoughts and things of that nature, you put it in there, they're able to control the levels inside your mind and things of that nature, anxiety and all of this stuff. But is he able to do that? He's able to know your mind, your thoughts, and control all of that. He's going to have full control over you. So that's why he's going to favor you, but you ain't even yourself no more. The devil damn near, he controls you. Not damn near, he does control you. Right? Exodus 21:6. Verse 4. If his master have given, I'll suffer for. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters. See? So whatever you have is going to be inside of this society, right? And he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master and my wife and my children, I will not go out free, because she don't want to, man, I want my kids, I want my wife, I will not go out free. Verse 6, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. All right, what are they going to be boring through? Your body, okay? They're going to be boring through your body, that RFID chip, and you'll be serving them forever within this, forever. So to have a good social credit score with your master and the family and all of that stuff. All right, but the elect won't do such, but the elect will lose, but they're going to gain with the Lord. Let me get that in Matthew 19, and I'll end it off with that, man. Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Verse 28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when you come back, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, right? You're going to leave, your gains is going to be these losses. Or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake. Because once again, these societies, to be in them the Lord created this game this way, this algorithm to be this way. All right, so you're gonna have to forsake these. You're gonna have to forsake these things. All right, in order, okay, to gain. These are the things you're gonna have to forsake, because these may be the things that are attached to this society. Okay, it says, "For my name's sake shall receive 100-fold." So you're gonna get that back 100 times. You're gonna get 100 kids. You're gonna get 100 wives. You're not gonna get 100 fathers and mothers, but you're gonna get it back 100-fold. All right, you can get 100 houses. And shall inherit everlasting life. All right, you're gonna inherit an everlasting life, meaning that your name is good forever. Okay, your social credit score is banging with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and that's gonna be the next concept. I know the priest. That you heard it from the horse's mouth. You heard it from Yahushua. You heard it from the individuals who's gonna be given the gifts. You heard it from Yahushua, who's gonna be given the crowns. You heard it from the rewarder himself. All right, he ain't hearing it through a second person. Nah, I heard if you do that. No, you hearing it from Yahushua, who sits next to Yahweh. All right, and remember, he says, I cannot lie. All right, Most High can't lie, gas anything. He's gonna say what it is. If it ain't it, it ain't it. If it is it, it is it. That's why he said in Matthew the 5th chapter, that your yea be your yea and nay be your nay. For whatsoever else cometh of it shall be evil. The Lord is telling you what it is. So that's what it is. We just got to have respect unto the recompense. So with that being said, call Yahweh, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Until the next time I'll say, Shalom.